We are with the Badshah of romance, Shah Rukh Khan. He doesn't need an introduction, but we are not here to talk to him about films today, but about road safety. It's something we don't speak about as much in our country as we need to, and I think this is a great opportunity for our countrymen to learn from what Shah Rukh will share with us. Shah Rukh, are you aware that India has the highest road fatalities in the world?
Yes, I am actually. We had launched a safety, there was an animation film we had done in Delhi, and Mr. Gadkari was there, and I think he had made us aware of the fact that we do have the maximum road fatalities in our country, and one knew accidents happen, and they must be because of the way our traffic is, and a lot of stuff that happens, but one didn't know that we have the highest, rate of fatalities in our country, and that was. It's extremely, as shocking as it was, it's extremely sad to hear.
You know, interestingly, we lose over 150,000 people every year. And in all the wars we fought since independence, the official wars, the unofficial ones, insurgency, Kashmir, Northeast, we've not lost more than 1 lakh of people in all that. And we lose 150,000 every year in our country, and no one's really talking about it.
Yeah, and of course I think it can be avoided with very small, little taking care of very small things, which can reduce the number drastically. I mean, that's what I'm sure everybody at Hyundai, yourself, everyone believes. There are very small little measures that I guess we need to take, and that number can be reduced, inshallah.
Why do you think we are so undisciplined on the road?
I think I cannot make a generic, we all are Indians, we all have been brought up in a certain way, we all have our own, civilized code, so to say. But I think somewhere down the line, there is a part of our nature, and I don't know if I can say it Indian's nature, but like, I'd include myself in it first and say, we do tend to get a bit careless and assume sometimes that, I've done it, till I was really introduced by Hyundai. When I was doing these films, I suddenly realized the import of all this. I have children now, and say 5-7 years ago, I realized, sometimes we just careless and sit down in a car and say, "Belt theek hai na yaar, chalta hai," So I think somewhere, just that little, I don't know. We need to educate people to understand that these small little things make a big difference, and somehow showcase that it's not a small thing. It's not a aise kya hoga? Sometimes I think our mindset works like that. At least mine used to. And you say, no, maybe, it does make a difference. Specifically when I was doing the films, we did a little research on how a seat belt works, etc. When Hyundai introduced it to me, when we were doing the films 4-5 years back. And you realize, actually, it does make a huge difference. So, I think just the little bit of attitude of, ki, kuch fark nahi padta yaar, yahin to ja raha hu. Sometimes I'm just going around the block. But I think, even if it's for a moment, it's for a second, if it's a small thing, even if you don't think it's of import, one should take that one moment and utilize the safety features.
Out on the roads of India, you find whether it's the rich, it's the poor, the educated, uneducated, whatever caste you belong to, whatever creed you come from, wherever you come from, you are absolutely, always in a hurry to get somewhere and not looking at safety in any way. It's actually a classless society on our roads out there. What is the message you have for these people from every background? That why aren't you concerned about your road safety? What message would you give them?
I think the simplest message would be that any kind of hurry is not going to get you in time. All you need to make sure is that a little bit of time, what you may assume is wasted, but perhaps extremely important for safety, needs to be spent. I think we need to regard each other with a little more respect on roads. There is, when you see on the roads, and it's very wrong for me to be sitting here as if I'm giving out a lecture on road safety, because I'm part of it. It's not that I'm away from it. All of us are part of it. Just one man following the rules is not going to change it. You need to have each one of us doing it. And so I'd give the message to myself. Leave a little on time. Respect each other's spaces, time, and this whole bid to hurry and reach there faster and cut lanes, cross a signal on the yellow light and say I'll make it. I think we just need to have a little more patience on road. I think I think the cars have increased, scooters have increased, cyclists have increased, motorcycles have increased, and perhaps the roads are still in some places not catering enough to this, huge expanse in vehicles on the road. And till such thing happens, till that infrastructure, because that will take some time, till such thing happens, I think we just need to have a little more patience. And I'd request everyone to have a little more patience. I can request all the bosses, it's all right if you're a little tardy. It was because of traffic. If there's an excuse like saying, listen, I was driving a little more carefully, I think it's a good excuse to have.
With Hyundai and this whole Better Move campaign, you have started speaking up about road safety. Hopefully, a lot of people are listening to it. Do you think other celebrities should also speak up? Opinion makers should be speaking a lot more about this than they do?
I think for me, the directness comes from the fact that I'm the ambassador for Hyundai. And I've been a part of this journey, road journey, so to say, in this car for years now. So maybe it naturally follows from me. Each one to their own. I truly believe that. I can implore them and request them and say, it's a good thing to talk about. You have social media, you have access to a lot of messaging that you can put out, good, bad, funny, sweet, nice, happy, celebratory. And I think if we add that bit on to our little social messaging, I think that itself will go a long way. Because yes, celebrities of whatever import, whichever field, do make a difference. I think people kind of listen to that message a little more. Whether they follow it or not, it's up to them. But they listen to it. They just take heed of it at least. Okay, this ad is coming. Let me see. Or this person is speaking who we know, like, dislike. But is someone who's in the public face or public eye. And I think, they can make that effort. Having said that, I don't think I can really shift them on to do it. As far as I'm concerned, since I've become aware, I would love to continue doing so. And I would hope lots of people follow suit.
Earlier in the conversation, you spoke about wearing seat belts. Do you now always wear a seat belt?
Yes, I do. And as a matter of fact, one or two little things that I've made mistakes with, I've corrected them immediately. And I would like to give my example, because if I'm giving the message of safety, it has to start from me, even if it's for my own company, Hyundai, that I work with. Seat belts, yes, I've started wearing, for sure.
Even when you're on the back seat?
No, not yet on the back seat, to be honest. But I think I realize it's there, so one might as well use it. I've had some friends who do it. I think a couple of times I let my kids stand out on the, what is it called, the moon roof, the sunroof. And I think that's completely wrong. I didn't realize, you think you're safe, you're holding the baby. I think that's wrong. I apologize for it to myself, and I won't do that again. But having said that, I think, the other day I was just going 2 houses away, to my dentist, which is 2 houses away, I can walk it. But I took my car, but I make it a point now to wear the seat belt, even if it's feels coming in the way of your style or your what have you. I think you should just wear it, as simply as that.
Very interesting that you spoke about the sunroof incident, because anywhere you look, let's say on a Sunday you go down the Worli ceiling, you'll find all these people putting their children out of those sunroofs and speeding up without realizing how dangerous it is, And you presume, because sunroofs only come in expensive cars, that these are people who've had good exposure, they've traveled, but they're yet making such silly mistakes of sticking their little children out.
Like I said, I've made that silly mistake, so I've done it twice, and I realized that because, however hard you hold the child or how much fun, just from a small little thing like something going in the eye of the kid too, khuda na khasta, a more dangerous, even a sudden stop can hurt the little baby. It's got glass, it's got very sharp edges, and I think that's completely wrong. And like I say, very small things that we disregard. If we just stop for a moment with patience, think about it, I think we can change it. I really have become much safer, though I'm extremely, and I'm very proud to say this, for years, I do regard traffic rules extremely carefully. I've been one, I don't have road rage, but I do get a little angry if people are not, just cutting lanes and not giving indicators and just moving on. And I love to drive. I love to drive. So unfortunately, then I take it out at night, because then you find a little more easy traffic. But I get really riled with people not following very simple traffic rules or just staying in the lane. I think that's important.
And when you would be performing or acting in a film, do you insist to the director, if there is a scene where you're driving, that you need to wear the seatbelt?
I think I do. And not only that, I think there's a ruling that if you have a driving scene in the film, the seatbelts have to be on. And even if we want to do it in a scene where supposedly it's an action scene and you don't want to do it for a bit, you have to wear it and remove it. And I think you have to put a message out that, you have to wear it and remove it in post-production, but you have to put a message out that seat belts were put on for the sequence.
But sadly, you see so many films, and you may not be happy that I'm pointing this out, but recently I just happened to see Om Shanti Om again, where there are several driving shots of you, and I never saw you wearing a belt in not even a single shot.
Am I driving in Om Shanti Om?
When you're entering that old studio which has burnt down and all that.
I'm sitting in the back. But
No,
yeah,
you're in the front. You're
even
driving
if
a couple of driving shots.
That taught me a lesson. I died in the film. So if you don't wear your seat belt, there are chances you can die. Yeah. So I paid with my life for that.
All right. Been a pleasure talking to you, and I hope you keep promoting road safety. It's something we are very passionate about at Overdrive magazine, and we may soon come to you for some support. We are starting an association of road safety, and it'd be lovely to have you on board with us.
Thank you, Bob. Most certainly, you can call upon me anytime.
Thank you
very much.